But the difference is, quickly change your mind to something positive.
Yeah, and the only way is to think about what you're thankful for.
Exactly.
That's the only way to go from negative to positive.
That's the only way.
Is to realize what makes you happy.
I just do it deep breathing. Like that time I'm just so annoyed at myself, and I'm annoyed about everything that is going on around me. I'm annoyed about 2020, I'm annoyed about this and this and that.
If I could tell you, I would. Honestly, no secrets between us. No, it's just honesty. Even if it hurts, even if it's just for today. I know you're just here for good fun. It's over before it's begun. So don't let me fall for a figment of my imagination. Don't be a stranger. Let me get to know ya. There's a kind of danger when my mind starts to wander round and around, trying to figure you out. Would it be like to be? Would it be like to be yours? Would it be like to be yours? Once.
Okay. Okay, guys, so we just decided to have a sit down chit chat because it's been a very boring, lazy day, so there's not much recording that was done. It was kind of cold in Durban today, so we just literally slept most of the day. And Skylar's asleep right now behind me. I don't know if you can see her. So we just thought we should sit down and talk. And in the journal that I
say hello.
No, I want to do it. It's not like the video, it's like part of it. So I've already done it. I don't know.
Okay. Hello everyone.
Say hi to KB. I've already said my hellos, like.
Yeah, I know. I was just asking her why she's carrying on the whole thing without me, and she started whispering.
Yeah.
As if you guys are still looking at us or anything like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy to be back on the channel and to talk to you guys. And today's topic is
gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Hopefully you saw it.
Yes. So if you have this journal, you already probably done the exercise, and if you don't and you want the journal, it's on the way. I'm going to be sending more journals on Monday. Yeah, I've got 2 addresses. So if you want, I've got 2 more people that haven't sent me their address. If you want, please send me your address so I can send you the journal. Anyways, okay, let's talk about gratitude. You know what's crazy about it? It's that Skylar prays before she eats, and she's 2. She obviously doesn't know how to speak, so she's like, amen. But that shows you that, you know, that's how we brought her up. We brought her up to like not just eat food, to first acknowledge that food is a blessing, you know, and she must be grateful for it, because there's a lot of people that probably don't have food or need food or always think, where am I going to get food today? So if you are privileged to get food, even if it's not the food that you wish you were eating, but the fact that you are eating food, you must be grateful for that. So that is something to think about, that a 2-year-old is thankful, and we must all be thankful.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are you thankful for? Comment down below and tell us, what are you thankful for? And baby, what are you thankful for?
Oh, I'm grateful to have a family.
Yes,
Like Noma and Skylar, like the Rasholanis.
Nah.
And I'm grateful for my original family, you know, like the originals. And yeah, there could be a handful and all of that,
But it's
yeah,
still family.
they're still my family, you know. I wouldn't trade them for any other family, but you know, there are those days where you feel like, actually, they were not my family. I wish I could like
Yeah, I
trade this
think
one
we
for
all.
that one and this one for that one, but after all, they're still your family, and I'm very grateful to have them in my life. They
Yeah.
did play a massive role. Me growing up and going to school, doing this and that, you know, they've been there sometimes, most of the times.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like they're all those things.
I think it's like what you said, like most of the time, I think it's important to also understand that in life you will go through ups and downs. But if you do pay attention to like gratitude, you will realize that there is actually more ups and downs. It's just that in life, we tend to focus on the downs, because when something bad happens, you make this very dramatic, you know, thing about it, and you hate someone, you don't want to speak to someone out of just one little issue. But if you look at the big picture, like if you had to zoom out and look at the big picture, you'd see that there's actually more good things that we have been through, probably as a couple or mother and daughter or whatever, whoever you're going through the beef with or the fight with, or whatever makes you feel like, oh, I don't care about them, I'm not happy with them, God, why did you give them in my life? Actually, there has been more good that come from that person than bad. It's just that, I don't know, we tend to highlight the bad more than the good, which is something that we are trying to let you know today, that you need to stop doing that. Because when you focus on like the negative, you attract the negative, and when you focus more on what you lack than what you have, you tend to always lack. Like even if you'd have so much money in the world, but if you're not a grateful person, you're not going to be a happy person. You're going to be miserable, because you're always wanting more. You're always lacking, basically. In your eyes, you're always lacking, even though you are blessed and you do have a lot, but you're always lacking. So just start focusing more on what you have. And even when you're having a bad day, I did say that when I was doing the journal at the beginning of the month, that when you wake up in the morning and you realize, like, you start focusing on what you're grateful for. And I know it's like weird, some people just wake up and get up, but you train yourself. You just, before you get up, you just like, oh, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for my daughter. Thank you for this. Like, just even 3 things. If you do it more, you start naming more than 3 things.
Yeah.
Even if something bad happens in that day, you're like, but I'm still thankful that I have this in my life, because that's how you started off the day. Like, you started off the day in a positive note. Even if something negative happens, it won't take away that you know what's good in your life. You know what you're thankful for, and that will keep you going.
She's basically said everything. I was just watching her, like, as she's talking, like, she's pretty amazing with camera, you know, like, she just keeps on going and going.
Yeah, so it's a lot of practice.
So yeah, I'm also grateful for good health, you know,
Yeah.
like, there's nothing more than a good health, you know, like, can have all the money in the world, but good health, man.
It won't buy good health.
Like, that's something else on its own, you know. Like, you got this heart that is beating in the same sense as nature, you know, the liver that is working properly, even if you're drinking way too much more than you should. But yeah, that's another topic. But then your liver is still functioning perfectly fine. You got kidneys, you got everything. You got these 2 hands here to help you with your day-to-day task. You like everything that is good health. That's something we should be grateful for. And I'm also grateful for God's favor in my life. You know, like, sometimes I think of the way I started in my life, like humble beginnings, and then I see from there, fast forward from the humble beginnings to the things that I have accomplished, and I'm like, you know, it's always been God's favor in my life, more than my capabilities. Which, okay, I think better than other people, maybe I'm much smarter, I was the smartest in my class or whatnot. No, it was actually just
God's grace.
God's grace, favor in your life, you know, like, you gotta be grateful for such things. You know, like, sometimes you don't have to be thankful for the massive big things.
Only,
You can just wake up and like thank you God for the sunlight, you know, like the sunlight on my face.
Exactly.
I'm thankful for the oxygen.
Fresh air, yeah.
I'm thankful for like
Clean water.
small things. Like the more you do
Electricity,
that,
internet.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people
Oh.
take that for granted.
electricity and internet, you feel that like
You
no
don't
way.
realize you need it until it's taken away
When
from
the-
you.
Yeah, when the
Like,
service provider like goes off for like even if it's like 2 hours, and like you always on your phone again, like when is it coming back? When is it coming back? Even if you have nothing serious to do, but you've been taking it for granted for so long that you know, like once it's gone, it's like oh my god, you're going like losing your head and all of that. Like oh my god, what am I gonna do with this? But in reality, like the smallest things, be grateful for even the smallest things. You know, if for example you were a parent and then you buy, like you Noma, you buy Skylar a ball, like a tennis ball.
Yeah.
Since she was so grateful for a tennis ball and she was just happy to play around with it, like
Now she gets a bigger ball.
and now you get her a bigger ball, you know, like she was grateful for the small thing that
Yeah.
you had,
Yeah.
that she had, and I was like, you know what, since she likes it so much, let me give her something bigger. Let's see how she'll react to this.
Yeah.
And now she's super excited. She hasn't like, even when she wakes up, that's the first thing she wakes up and look forward to. Like, oh, where's my ball? You know, she's grateful for that.
Yeah, and
So-
that is God's principle as well.
No,
That
like we ask him for
how am I going to give you
messy
this
things.
if you're not thankful for this? The
And
small
it
that
doesn't make
yeah.
sense. It's just that ungrateful baby. Like, no, mommy, I
No,
hate
no.
you. I hate this. You know, like.
Oh, let me take it
but
away then.
exactly, like you know.
Let
you
me
don't
give it
need
to someone else who's grateful then.
Exactly, like you have more than you think.
Yeah.
You can just stop focusing on what you're lacking and focus on what you have right
Yeah.
now. I was like, oh my god, I actually have this.
Yeah, and I always remind my family, like my sisters and brothers and stuff, like my cousins, that oh wait, what did I want to say?
Didn't tell me.
Wait, I always remind them of something. Gosh.
What you grateful for? You always like asking like, what you grateful for?
No,
Like,
I wanted to say
out of-
something else.
Out of a conversation, we're just eating like, oh, this chicken, this KFC is so nice and this and this. Like,
Yeah.
what are you grateful for? You know,
Yeah.
like 5 things you're grateful for. It's like, oh my god. Now you have to think like, oh, I'm grateful for this. And you start feeling bad that you always counting the same things because every time when she asks me, I always say the exact same things.
Same
And tomorrow she asks me again, I always say the same things. But another thing of taking things for granted, you know, like, I know this is so irrelevant to most people, but if you live in South Africa, you didn't really realize how much alcohol meant to everyone. I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone right now. But you took it for granted, you know, like you are abusing it,
Yeah.
you're just taking it for granted and whatnot, you know, like, and all of that. And like, it was gone in a blink of an eye, and the whole country was just going crazy and nuts about like, oh no, he took this, we've been taking it for granted. There's certain things that we don't even think that we should be grateful for. They're just there, we think we're entitled to.
Yeah.
You just think
We are
like,
so
I
entitled.
deserve
We
to have
complain
this.
a lot.
I
yeah.
have to have this, you know, like, no. You have to you just have to be grateful for it. Life itself is a privilege.
Waking up tomorrow and
Yeah.
breathing in, breathing out. Like some people's lungs are weaker than yours. You know, some people.
You don't need that oxygen thing going on.
You don't want to
the
get
whole
there to
time.
then start looking back like I should have been thankful. Start being thankful now, like
Exactly.
today. You don't want something bad happening and then you're like, oh, well, I should have been thankful for my, I don't know, 2 arms back then or whatever, or my
Absolutely.
eyesight or, you know.
And you should also be grateful to have the people you love in your life. They might be like, you know, hard on you sometimes or asking you way too many questions.
Ah!
Or I don't know, you might think they're nagging, or you might think they, like you might think so many things about your partner and whatnot, and you forget the nicest things that she does for you, the nicest things that there's that one person in the whole universe who wakes up and thinks of you, you know, like that one person who loves you the most. And you take all those small things for granted, you take it for granted, you take this for granted. that little excitement of your baby when she sees you and like, oh, I need to get my coffee. Get out of the way. I need to get my coffee and all of that. And you miss that. Like one time when she wakes up and she doesn't give you that excitement, or maybe she's catching a
when
fever
she's
or
a
something like
teenager.
that. It's like, oh my god, I miss it back when she was
when she
that
still
happy
loves
child
me
and
and
all.
wanna be with
But
me.
you forget that now. Every time when she used to do that, it's just like, oh my god.
Away.
I need to check on my status. I need to check on this. You know,
And
like,
it happens, you know.
we take people for granted. You know, like no, be grateful for that. Be grateful.
Yeah, I've realized, like, obviously, you know, I'm 29 and I've been through, you know, some of life, and what I realized is that when you're in a relationship, like I'm just going to talk about relationships just for now. When you're in a relationship and you really love someone, like for example, let's say KB really loves me and I know it, we tend to take that for granted, and you feel like, oh, because he loves me, I don't know, he's desperate or whatever, that you treat them bad because they really love you. And then you realize when that person has moved on and dating someone else, and that person actually, you know, shows them appreciation, exactly, that's when you realize that actually, you know what, I really loved this person. Why didn't I, you know, why wasn't I thankful for that? Why didn't I show them love back? So it's also things like that. Like some relationships fail not because there was no love or anything. It's just you failed to show appreciation because you took it for granted. Because this person loves me, oh well, I'm gonna drag them along or play around with their feelings because I know they're not going anywhere anyways. Like,
because they stuck with you. Or
so childish, grow up, stop doing that if you are doing that. Sorry, I didn't mean to call anyone out, but just, don't do that. Just leave the person and move on. Yeah, is that it? Are we gonna talk about? No, there's something I wanted to say.
Oh, while she's still thinking about what she's gonna say, like there's certain things, you know, like, yeah, we're talking about being grateful and all of that, but it's part of human nature that your mind always runs towards something that is negative.
Yeah.
Negative this, I'm lacking on this, that thing is still gonna happen. It also happens to the two of us. We also go through that.
Oh yeah.
But what matters the most, don't dwell on that. No. Don't finish all your energy focusing on what is negative or what is not going. You're attracting more. Like for me, the trick that I do to stay grateful, I do have those days when I just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I just complain about this. I should be doing this. This is not how it's supposed to be. This isn't, you know, all of that. We all go through those moments. But the difference is, quickly change your mind to something positive.
Yeah, and the only way is to think about what you're thankful for.
Exactly.
That's the only way to go from negative to positive.
That's the only way.
Is to realize what makes you happy.
I just do it deep breathing. Like that time I'm just so annoyed at myself, and I'm annoyed about everything that is going on around me. I'm annoyed about 2020, I'm annoyed about this and this and that. But then, and I realized, oh my God, this is not how I wanted my whole day to go. Because sometimes that thing happens so early in the morning. So are you gonna carry on your whole day like being ungrateful and being
happens
angry,
like that, yeah.
fighting everyone in traffic? Oh, Noma fights people in traffic all the time, but that's another.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
That's another topic for another day. But then, if you're gonna allow that to start your day like that, being ungrateful, starting your day with your negativity and all of that, imagine what's gonna happen the rest
whole
of the
day
day.
will be like that.
You
like
know?
You start creating things in your mind.
Exactly.
Like if you see
and
someone
even
just
starting to have that rehearsed arguments that you're gonna have once you get to work. And when she says this, I'm gonna say this. When he says this, I'm gonna say this.
You're really ready just for a fight. Like.
Exactly. You know, you're creating some scenarios that are not even there. You know, like the best thing to go through the whole thing is just to make sure that every time it's gonna happen. Even the gurus and the motivational
you just don't know what other people are going through as well.
Even though they're gonna be like telling you how to be positive and that, it happens. You're gonna go to a negative, but quickly, don't let it go on the whole. You have every right to complain. You know, you have every right to complain, but don't let that be you. Don't let that be your whole day. You know, like I am annoyed about this and this and this, but I'm grateful I'm still alive. I'm grateful today I have a full belly and I have nice clothes to wear. And I'm grateful for this and this. I'm grateful for the oxygen. I'm grateful to have Noma and Skylar in my life. You know, that's the way, and then I changed my attitude again towards that, on that day, towards being positive, and then I carry on with my day.
Yeah.
That's how to be.
That's exactly, because you know how Katie was saying, I have road rage. I mean,
she frightens me. I'm scared.
I get really angry when people like overtake you without indicating, and they get all, you know what I'm talking about if you're driving in, especially in South Africa. So when things like that happen to me in the morning when I'm going to work or whenever, and I get really angry, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like screaming. Yeah, I'm like screaming in the car by myself.
Like, I feel like if those person would like Noma would just go then like, what are you doing that for?
But when that happens, because I realize it, now I know my triggers, because you have to know your triggers, what triggers you to get stressed or whatever, or get angry. So when that happens, I quickly just go, you know what, I'm actually thankful I have a car to go to work in. I'm actually thankful. Yeah, so I just quickly realize that, you know, I'm thankful for God to wake me up this morning, to give me an opportunity to have another day, to get a job, to drive, to, you know, I'm thankful for the safety and stuff like that. So that calms me down. Honestly, it does calm me down.
You actually have gas in that car. You know? You might have a car and you don't have gas. You know, like,
yeah, no,
just
no,
be
it's
grateful
true.
for that, like 10 rands worth of petrol that's still running in there. You know.
Yeah, so that's what calms me down, to be honest. It's just being thankful for the car and being thankful that I'm safe and that, you know, just a lot of things that I'm sure a lot of
and there's
people.
so many weirdos.
Oh, this is what I wanted to say before we end the video, because it looks like the video is already too long.
Yeah.
I wanted to say to my I wanted to say I always remind my cousins and my my brothers and my sisters and everyone. I'm sure you know them on this video. You've seen them on my channel. That you are living someone else's dream life.
Definitely.
So you don't realize it now until you see someone else who's really, really struggling, really wish they were in that nice school you were in, or wish they had your clothes that you wear, or wish they had their own bedroom like you, or whatever you have right now. You are literally living someone else's dream life. So you could be so ungrateful. You could be like, oh, why didn't my mom go to school and do this? Because I would be as fortunate as Susan or whatever.
Hi, Susan.
But, you always, what happens, we watch the Kardashians, we watch TV, and we just like, why can't I live this kind of life? But actually someone else is looking at you and saying, I wish I had what she has. So don't forget that you could be living someone else's dream life, and be thankful for that. Then to always focusing on someone else who has more than you, and then you end up being so ungrateful that what you have can be taken away and given to someone else who wishes they had your life. So
that's powerful.
so don't. I always remind my sisters of that, because they're still growing up. They're at the age of being at the age, they're at the age 20, 17. Deborah is like 23, so they're at the age of wanting more, watching TV, social media, wanting that kind of life, that they don't realize the life that they have. They are so fortunate. They have older sisters and stuff that can drive them to places, and things that a lot of people wish they had, that people walk miles, and when they live in Makaya, places that are at the rural, that they wish they have. So don't forget to be grateful for stuff like that you have access to. I know some people are like, I don't have a car. That's fine, but probably you can afford Uber. Not a lot of people can afford that. And I'm sorry that I'm just talking about a car, but I'm just trying to say that there are some things that you can afford that you get to have that a lot of people don't get to have, and it's not your fault. And I'm not saying feel bad or feel guilty, but just be grateful, because it can get taken away. Like, your life can change like this. Trust me and KB know, but we're not going to get into that. But life can be changed just like that. And if you are not a grateful person, you're going to be so miserable, and you're going to realize that you're going to waste probably a whole freaking 3 years of just being in a miserable state, being angry. Everyone is dreading having you around, like, oh God, like, there she comes, and oh my God. You don't want to be that person. So just be more positive, and you're just going to attract that. You're going to attract more positive friends, more love around you. You're going to attract nicer people. Like, honestly, I've attracted a lot of nice people, free coffees, and I don't know, other things that people just, I attract that because of the energy that I'm sending out as well. So I think that's it.
When you're closing the
Video?
finishing this great topic of gratitude in the month of August.
Yes.
Yeah, she also touched bases on like social media, you know. Yeah, we live in a big world right now. I think, you know, the internet made the world smaller, but yet so much bigger and all of that, you know, like there's social media bullying, there's social media fake life, social media there's even the news that you watch, you know,
Why is the
like
time flicking like that?
I don't know. Maybe it's finished.
Maybe it's time's up.
I guess so.
Ah!
Like that.
Oh well. I'm thankful for the views and the subscribers, so please be aware of that. That everyone subscribes. I get really, really excited by that one subscriber, even the sales on my channels or anything. So I don't take that for granted.
Yeah.